All right, welcome back. I hope you all are enjoying today's show. We've had some great panels. This is the last panel of the day. I'm going to see if this will work so I can switch us into Cosplay Cafe mode. This is Cosplay Cafe. I'm Kelly Guentner, one of your two baristas. Welcome, Crayle.
Hello.
I am so glad that you're on screen. How are you feeling?
I'm okay. Do we want to explain what happened?
Let's do our intro and then we'll explain. So keep watching, y'all, if you want to hear about Crayle's mishap. So first of all, we're going to be talking about charity and cosplay. I am going to roll our credits and then we'll go from there. Cosplay Cafe is sponsored by... Not that one. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Oh my gosh. Opening credits. All right, so we're going to be serving up a hot steaming cup of cosplay. Again, long day, I can't talk. I do not have a hot cup. I have a cold cup. And
Same.
You can guess.
Hydrating is super important whenever you're on screen a bunch in like a 1, 2, 3 day period.
Yes, yes. Okay, so tell the audience what happened to you and then we'll bring on our guests.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it after all at the very last minute because I think I partially dislocated my shoulder getting into my costume. And what happened is funny. So I mean, we'll show more of it later, but this is a mostly it's an entirely
good
one-piece dark Supergirl costume that I've only tried on once. And this is one of those series of unfortunate events, things where this thing caused this thing caused this thing. So I don't have curtains in my cosplay room right now. And so to make sure if I had to like step out from behind the partition so that I wouldn't be visible through the window, I left the light off. And this is an all black suit except for the silver right here and the belt.
Nope.
So I didn't remember and then didn't notice and couldn't see because the black all blended in together that there are Spanx sewn into this, and I put it on over my head, and I remembered it being tight. It's only 2-way stretch, not 4-way stretch, which is if you're part of the spandex family, you know there's a huge difference between 2-way stretch and 4-way stretch.
Yeah.
So the darkness, the colors of the fabric, and the stretch of the fabric were all working against me as I got somehow the whole upper half of my body through one leg hole of the Spanx. The whole thing was crooked and too tight. And I was like, I just tried this on not that long ago. What is happening? Why does it feel like it's cutting off circulation right above my hips? And why is it crooked? And so I lift like parts of it up and everything. And I have my entire waist, like just below my rib cage through one side of the hole in the Spanx. So already I'm in a little bit of pain because that's like, it was cutting into me pretty badly. Well, I couldn't just like do like you do with a normal shirt or dress and like cross your arms over and then pull it up because it was so tight. So I was like, once my arms got here, they were locked. And I pulled this shoulder partially out. I hered a weird pop and then had part of the thing off. So I couldn't move my left arm. So I'm sitting here going, okay, this hurts and I'm stuck. I'm about to cry. Like I'm supposed to be on a panel in 15 minutes and I'm stuck halfway in, halfway out of a Supergirl costume in pain. So finally I pushed my shoulder into the wall of my closet.
Oh my goodness.
It was like movable again. And then had to just keep like wiggling a little bit to one side and one side and one side. It took me a full 3 minutes, which if you think about how it normally only takes a couple seconds to pull off a shirt or a dress, like 2 or 3 minutes is a really long time to be wiggling out of something. So then I'm like, okay, I'm in time, but I need a second to like go get some Tylenol and some water and calm down because I just almost had a panic attack. Stuck.
I'm sorry. So Carl Witzman says, ouch. Hollis Thompson says, so sorry. And Carl Witzman says, okay, it's only funny now, but still.
John Ritter, king of physical comedy, smiling down on us from heaven, I guess.
Yes. And on that note, let's bring in our guests. So we have Jen W. and Jim K. They're from the League of Enchantment. They're from the Midwest branch, which operates out of Chicago. They are just absolutely wonderful. We've had Jen on the show before, and so you all know her and love her. And I'm super excited to meet Jim because I haven't met him before. So welcome, Jen and Jim.
Hello.
You two look so great.
Thank you.
I was considering wearing Natasha, so I'm glad I went with this. And Crayle and I just accidentally matched because, you know, Phoenix sister.
Right. We did not plan this.
And Keisha Acuff of Acuff Creation says, you guys look so super, talking to Crayle and me. I love it. And you two look marvelous.
What do you do?
Hi, thank you. So how are you two doing tonight?
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, doing well.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so glad you
to be here. Thanks for having us on.
Thanks. I'm so glad you decided to join us. It's just perfect to talk about charity during a weekend when we're doing charity. So it's absolutely excellent. So why don't we start out by both of you introducing yourselves and talk about how you got involved in the League of Enchantment.
Okay. So I'm Jen. I am the membership captain for the League of Enchantment Chicago. There was and still is, a branch in Michigan that was the parent company of us. And about a year ago now, we started our Chicago branch. During the pandemic and during lockdowns, some of us wanted to continue doing some charity work. And we found ways to do that ourselves with some of our friends, and some of our members met up with the Michigan group and started working with them, and they encouraged us to then also start our own group in Chicago as part of that. So we got that all together, and here we are. We've got about 40 members now, I think. So we've been really growing over the past year, and it's been really exciting.
That is very exciting. Yeah. I just joined. I still have to do an event with you all, but it'll happen.
Yeah, looking forward to you coming out to do something.
Can't wait.
What about you, Jim?
My name is Jim, and I started with League of Enchantment right when it started here in Chicago. I am really new to all of this, so I met a couple of people and then jumped right in. And it's been a wild ride ever since. I'm actually the assistant to the captain. So whatever he can't do, he passes on to me. They also make fun of me and call me the captain cape holder too, just in case you need your cape held in a picture. I'll do that for you too. So I've got multiple powers.
He's great at it.
I try.
Hero support.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, okay, cape holding is super important for photo shoots. So you're the real hero.
Yeah.
Not all heroes wear capes, some hold them.
Ruby Elliott says, once again, Crayle is Kelly's evil counterpoint. So for those of you who don't know, the reason we're called Phoenix Sisters is because Kelly cosplays in the standard green. I mean, there's nothing standard about it, but in the green, like default Phoenix suit. And I frequently cosplay in the dark Phoenix suit, and our migraines linked up, which was a sign that Phoenix was first starting to lose control to the Phoenix Force, was really bad migraines. So that's the short version. And Carlin says, no capes. That's Carlin Stewart.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with Edna Mode on that one.
This is glorious.
It's beautiful.
I love it.
I love capes. I know I don't have one with this, but I could have a cape. This is a corset that our other co-host, Andrea, who is not with us today because she's doing a con, but she made this for last year's fundraiser because basically she makes corsets, and so she was offering a custom corset as a prize. So she made me one as a sample. I'm like, I will take it. So I got to wear it on air last year, and I'm like, this is a good excuse to break it out again.
Ruby Elliott says, all the capes. Ruby Elliott is excellent at making capes. If you don't follow t-shirt cosplay, you should. She's always like, well, I don't post there as much as I should. But the stuff she does post, like, she makes stuff out of t-shirt material. And she's always like, it just seems easy to me. And other seamstress people are like, no, jersey knit is terrible. How do you do this? Are you a magician? So,
yes, she is.
Yes.
So, Jim, I'll let you go first. But since we've heard Jen's origin story, I am going to ask you to repeat it. How did you get into cosplay in general?
Oh, this is a story. So,
yes.
My cousin, she asked me to come to her grandson's grandson's birthday party. And so I went. So I got invited and everything like that. When I walked in the door, she hands me this like shopping bag from a grocery store, and she's like, here, I need you to put this on. And I was completely like, what do you mean I have to put? So I open up the bag, and inside of it is a Spider-Man suit. She's like, I told my grandson that Spider-Man was coming today, and I knew if I told you were going to dress as Spider-Man, you wouldn't come to the birthday party. So now I'm at the party. It's like almost a 3-hour drive from my house. I put the suit on, and I ended up becoming Spider-Man. And the entire time at this kid's birthday party, he did not want me there. He wanted Hulk. He kept asking, where's Hulk? Where's Hulk? So my cousin ended up giving me the Spider-Man suit, and that was my first cosplay I ever did, was Spider-Man at some of the events that I did. And then from there, I got addicted. So now it's like I've got quite a few different costumes, and it all started with Spider-Man at a birthday party for
being forced into.
I was literally held against my will.
That is a terrible and amazing story.
I wonder if that's how they got Patrick Stump to do the Spidey and His Amazing Friends theme song, is that they didn't tell him what he was actually there for and then held him against his will because he'd already driven into the studio.
Oh, no.
Wow. So that's something in common.
Headcanon accepted.
My nephew and niece are super into that show. And I'm just like, this sounds like Fallout. This is Patrick Stump.
Yeah. Oh man. And the kids really love that show too. I also do Spider-Gwen and Ghost Spider. And she's been getting so much more attention at events. It's been wonderful. I've gone from, and who are you, Spider Woman? And to like all the kids go Spider, go Spider. It's wonderful.
Aww.
It's fantastic.
It is adorable.
It's great. Yeah.
Carlin Stewart says, sucker to punch cosplay.
I love it. So, Jen, how did you get into cosplay?
I was in Halloween. I mean, I've been a kid I've been wearing costumes since I was a kid, but gosh, what story? It's like, how does it begin really in terms of like what my first costume was? And it's kind of grown out of a Halloween habit really. And then like, oh, people wear costumes to conventions. I'll wear costumes to conventions. And the first like event that I did was Phantom Menace. A friend of mine said, hey, we're going to go see Star Wars in costume. Let's go get our costumes made. So I got the Padme costume made from like the purple one, not anything super fancy, but like from the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. And we were the only people that showed up in costume. He was Qui-Gon, his other friend was Obi-Wan, and we went, and it was great. We got a lot of attention. That was really fun. So that should tell you how long I've been doing this. and then it just kind of grew from there. I took a break for a long time because, I mean, obviously I had other things going on, but like actually getting into the charity aspect of cosplay was probably 2018, late 2018, I think. I signed up with that with a charity group. I went to the library with my nephew and signed up with them and did Captain Marvel for charity cosplay. And she's really my primary character is Captain Marvel. But I also do Black Widow and Ghost Spider and Scarlet Witch, and I've got a couple princesses. I've got Rapunzel, and also now Two's coming along, thanks to a friend who made a wonderful dress.
Oh,
I'm really excited to add more to the repertoire and see who else, you know, is coming along with that. So bring other characters to events. Because it's really fun. I mean, of course it's fun. We all know it's fun, but like when you're at the event and the kid sees you and you're their favorite, nothing matches that.
It's the best.
It is.
It's the absolute best. I got the chance speaking of Captain Marvel, I got the chance to befriend a mom whose kid was having a really hard time with not being in school, and Captain Marvel was this kid's favorite. So Crayle and I had offered up video chats. So I video chatted with this kid as Captain Marvel, and oh my gosh, the kid was also dressed as Captain Marvel, and she was just, I video chatted with her a couple of times. She was just so cute. It was so special. And the first time she was like crying as she was telling me about how hard it was for her, how much she missed her friends, and I was able to help her have some bring some comfort to her, and and then she talked about the lessons she learned from Captain Marvel about being brave, and you know, like how like she fell on her bike and she picked herself back up because that's Captain Marvel does, and that's what these heroes mean to kids. It's and stuff like that. I'm like, that is why I do it. That's what it makes it worth it. It makes it worth all the tears over and the hot glue burns and the tears over like, well, how am I going to build this? I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out because
it's so heartwarming when that happens. Because when I was Spider-Man at one point, we did one event and this little boy was so scared, and he was just terrified of being in this big room. He was terrified of all these people dressed up and strangers. It took me about 15 minutes to get him to warm up, and I remember his name and everything. And eventually he got so warm, he stayed with me. He held my hand and walked around, and I introduced him to all of my other superhero friends. And next thing you know, he's wanting to take pictures posing as Spider-Man. So I got a whole bunch of pictures with him.
I remember that event.
Yeah.
That was really fun. It's so great to see, because that was like the year after lockdown when things were just starting to come out again. So these kids who are so young, all they've ever really known in their recent memory is, you know, stay away from strangers and don't talk to anybody. I mean,
that's hard.
And then to see familiar characters in person, it's like, no, Spider-Man belongs on my TV. Spider-Man does not belong right in front of me. What's going on here? And it's overwhelming. I mean, you did such a good job just getting on his level and like talking to him and seeing him and meeting him where he's at and then bringing him around. A lot of our members do that. We've got a lot of great people who really know what they're doing and how to connect with the kids, which is really what it's about.
Yeah, it's like a different kind of fun responsibility cosplaying around kids, because there are so many stories. Like we were even told one not that long ago by someone, it didn't even happen to them at a convention. They were dressed as Superman for a different reason, where if a parent gets separated from their kids and you're in costume as a hero, they might come up to you and be like, help me find my parents, because they've been told go to an adult you trust.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be representing this character who helps people. So it's a responsibility, but it's fun and it's cool.
That did happen at a convention to me. Not a lost kid, but there was a woman there. I think she brought her niece, and she was fairly young, not like super young, but like, I don't know, maybe 7. And she was just really overwhelmed from being at C2E2, which is such a huge convention. It's a huge dealer's room. There's a lot going on. And she's like, can you just talk to my niece? She comes up to me as and I'm Captain Marvel. And she goes, she really loves Captain Marvel. Can you talk to her and just kind of let her know everything's going to be okay? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And this was like not even in the capacity of League of Enchantment. This was just me hanging out, like waiting for a friend. And I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. I don't know what it was about me as opposed to anyone else, but I'm happy to do that. So I talked with her and it was great. And she felt a little bit better. So that's what we like to do.
Love that. I did. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's what it's all about, making the kids comfortable and happy, and know that there's so much good out there.
I agree.
Yeah. And we kind of do that with our hospital visits too. I mean, that's the main reason that we go to see them. That's one of the main things that we do as League of Enchantment is work with local hospitals and come see the kids. We do events maybe once or twice a month. We have a couple superheroes or princesses. We bring care packages to the kids.
Yeah, we visited during Christmas. We went there on Christmas and visited the kids that were in the hospital and gave them some presents there. And it warms your heart when they're just sitting there and they know something's wrong, but they don't know what. And you just take a couple of minutes of that time away from them and stop thinking about all of that and just start thinking about like, oh my God, this like hero's here, and it takes their mind off of it and it feels so good.
I agree. So my very first event, I had a little girl come up to me who was autistic, and I just had reached out my hand to her and she held my hand. And next thing I know, this kid is just holding on to me. And I'm looking around like, oh, where's her parents? Her parent comes up to me and her parents are like, she doesn't hold people's hands. She doesn't interact with people. I almost started crying. Like, oh my gosh. It was amazing. That's still one of my favorite moments. I assume you two both have stories like that. Like what are some of your favorite memorable moments?
You go first.
Gosh.
I'll be here all day.
I think there was one, I mean, the one at the convention I said, there was actually an event I did as Black Widow where it was an outdoor event. There were a lot of kids around, and this girl, she was probably 5. And she just started telling me about her day. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just listen to you and listen to what you got to say. And she's telling me about, she interacting with her sister and her parents, and like they're not necessarily, I'm like, maybe they're not necessarily listening to what she has to say. I don't know, but she wanted to talk to me. So I'm just gonna listen, and I'm kind of looking, where are your parents? Okay, your parents are over here. All right, I've got my eye on them to make sure that I know where you are. We had a similar story happen to one of our other members. She was dressed as Ariel. And this girl comes up to us at a library event, and the girl just kind of plops down and brings her a book and was like, kind of read me a story.
Yeah.
And I came across them and I was like, wait, where's the parents? Okay, we're just going to hang out here until this happens. But it was so, so sweet. And that was wonderful. That was Ari, one of our members. That was Ariel at the time. She was wonderful.
I love that.
Reading the story.
Yeah. There's a couple of them. One of them is one that we did at a convention at C2E2. We were reading stories. It was story time for the kids. And I was dressed as Captain America and she was Harley Quinn. And we read a story about Batman. And we also did one of Captain America. And so when we finished the story, this little kid who's dressed as Spider-Man comes up and kept telling us that the book I just read was his book. And I didn't understand what he meant at first. I'm like, oh, cool. So you have this book too. So then the mother, she explained that the little boy lost his book, was the exact same book we read on stage. And he's been looking for the book for months. And she said he's been so upset because they read it to him every single night. And without skipping a beat, Jen looks at me and she's like, we should sign this and give it to him.
Yeah, let's just give it to him.
Captain America signed the book and gave it to the little boy. And
because the books that we read for our story times, we get those from our same budget as we do for our care packages. So this was basically just an extension of the care package to make a really magical moment for a little kid that is probably going to remember that forever. So it was really, really cool to have Cap sign the book for him and, made it out to him and just made his whole day.
Right. Yeah. Another thing was a hospital visit I just recently did. This little boy spoke Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish, shame on me. And we were told to stand at the doorway and not go in the rooms because there's still some restrictions. But all of a sudden, I look and I see this little boy. The door opens. He just like big eyes, mouth wide open, darts right towards me. And he just grabs me and he wouldn't let go. And I'm like thinking, okay, we weren't supposed to go in the room, but he's attached to me now. What do I do? And I just sat there and I hugged him and I wouldn't let go. You never let go until they let go. And then I sat there and he ran back into the room, got some of his toys, showed me some of his toys. And then he sat there and he was trying to read a brochure that was in one of the care packages to me. And he's showing like me the pictures and speaking to me. And the only thing I knew what to say was Feliz Navidad. But he just looked at me and gave me another big hug. It was such a magical moment. I didn't you don't expect those things to always happen, but when they do, you take them with grace and you love them. You put them special in your heart.
Mm-hmm. Love that. And since we are at the halfway point, I just want to remind everyone who's watching that you are watching Cosplay Cafe as part of the Multiverse fundraiser, which is hosted by the Back of the Cereal Box. We are raising money for the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health. So if you just go to our website listed below, www.themultiversefundraiser.com, and click on the Donate Here link, we are currently sitting at 35% of our goal. So that's $710 of $2,000. I want to get to at least 50% before we end the night. So we have 30 minutes to get there. Can you all get us there?
Come on, let's get there.
Let's get there. Also, if you donate or if you've already donated, you are eligible for our sweepstakes. Every $10 is an entry. We've got a lot of great prizes in there. Just make sure, even if you kept it anonymous, just send your receipt to phoenixescosplay@gmail.com. We've got a lot of people who have been really generous and kept their donations anonymous. But if you want to be eligible for those prizes, we can still keep you anonymous. We'll just add you to the drawing. So let's.
Kristen Marie comments. Hold on, my mouse. There we go. Comments. Lauren says Loki is her favorite.
Aww.
I love you. Thank you. It's actually kind of neat. You don't expect Loki to be like a popular one, but in recent months, like people are coming up to me and just like, talking to me, and Loki's becoming popular.
I think Loki's always been popular.
He is, but he doesn't want to get too involved with it.
Well, and this show really has elevated Loki.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, it's kind of strange having finally been in cosplay long enough for me to see some of the ebb and flow of popularity of characters now, because I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary, right? And like no one knew who Liberty Bell from the Justice Society of America was when I started. Like nobody, like one person at a con would recognize me, and I would love how I made that one person's day. And now she's not the most mainstream character ever, but they made her a teacher in DC Superhero Girls. And so it's like older people who grew up with like Silver Age comics or even older than that sometimes, and little girls who are just like, oh my gosh, you're the teacher from DC Superhero Girls. And I'm like,
that's so wonderful.
So yeah, it's weird to me to have been in it long enough to even watch like an ebb and flow.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I started my Captain Marvel cosplay. My first one was made in 2018 earlier. So it was about a year before the movie actually came out. And first con that I brought her to, a couple people knew who I was, but not a lot. And, mostly just got called Wonder Woman. I mean, I still get called Wonder Woman as Captain Marvel. It's just something that happens to Captain Marvel cosplayers.
It's a color scheme.
You take it in stride, especially if they're a little kid. You just go, yeah, okay, fine, I'm Wonder Woman. But, it's definitely, she's getting a lot more recognition, which is fantastic. And seeing the kids in their costumes too has been just.
That makes me so happy when I see kids cosplaying as Captain Marvel. I don't know.
Yes.
Or Black Widow. I'm like, yes. Little girls have more characters to look up to than.
And so many more coming out now, especially with the MCU. We've got, Kate Bishop, we've got Spider-Gwen, we've got, the Wasp and Stature and Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan, and, you know, just the list goes on and on and on. And we'll just be getting so much more. And it's wonderful. It's really great.
I'm so here for it.
And it's so crazy to think, like, not that long ago, my friends Mark and Ruby would find like fabric or a bag or something that had all the Avengers on it, except Black Widow, who was the only girl for a long time. Be like, well, can't buy this now.
I remember that.
You left her off. Like,
and the Guardians of the Galaxy merch had the same problem with Gamora.
Yeah. Although it at least makes like a little more sense, like only after the first Guardians of the Galaxy, because Gamora goes from being like the bad guy to the good guy like partway through the movie, whereas it was still happening with Black Widow on the Avengers, like really late into her being on the team, not just like somebody who was like a gotcha character. I was a spy all along in Iron Man, so
it's ridiculous.
I don't know. It still shouldn't have happened with the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, but like,
and it's there's reasons for it. It's, you know, they're like, oh, boys don't buy stuff with girls on it. And I mean, my experience just as a you know, cosplaying women superheroes is that a lot of times it's the little boys that want to come up and say hi. And I mean, we had a shy kid that came up to the Avengers at one point. It was me and Cap and Thor, and the little boy just came right up to Black Widow, and I'm like, okay, this never happens. It happens once, but like, it does happen. We had a little boy who was really excited to meet Spider-Gwen. They had left the event and came back, and it's like, go Spider, I have a big boy bed. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. The dad's like, we had to come back and tell Spider about our big boy bed.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
It's great.
Yeah, they drove like 15, 20 minutes and then had to turn right back around. It was an emergency, I guess.
Yeah, I had to say something.
Yeah.
I was at like a street fair, so not Metropolis Crayle, but a different one, a street fair con. And I was with a group of Avengers, and I was Black Widow, and I had a family with a 10-year-old kid follow us. And unfortunately, we went to a bar. So they pulled us into the bar because their little boy loved Black Widow. I'm like, I felt so bad. I was like, no. I had no idea. But I felt bad because I'm like, oh, I'm sitting back and with a drink, and then they come in. Like, obviously it was right as we had sat down, so I wasn't like heavily drinking, but I'm like, everyone was kind of laughing. They're like, well, you know what, at least Natasha's Russian, like, it's kind of
my thing about them not including girls, because they're like, oh, well, boys and men won't buy blah blah. It's like, the thing about nerds is we like to complete the whole set,
so and like, if you don't give us the option,
why would you not give us the option to complete the set, to have the whole set?
Yeah.
Like, lift out one of the main characters. People are still going to buy the main characters. So anyway,
it's because they haven't accepted that adults buy that stuff.
True. I'm just going to put a comment on the screen because I'm getting mad about it now.
Question.
So David McDonald asks, is there a costume you've worn that you were surprised when someone recognized you?
That's a good question, David McDonald, whoever you are.
Whoever you are. That's my husband, in case you don't know.
Not necessarily for charity cosplay, because I tend to stick with the more recognizable characters for that, because you want to go to what the kids know. I do have Yvain from Stardust that I wore to C2E2, and maybe 6 people knew who I was, but those 6 people were all very, very happy to see me and thought it was very cool. When I first started Scarlet Witch, it was before Age of Ultron actually came. So this was a closet cosplay. I had seen the pictures, and the whole con, no one said anything, didn't even realize I was in a costume until the very end. You had all the Avengers kind of assembled by the letters at C2 and the end of the day on Sunday. And there was one cosplayer, a Hawkeye actually, who was like, you're an Avenger, come here. And of course, this was before the movie, which is weird because that happens in the movie, basically. So that was fun. And now you see everyone's cosplays now.
I love that.
What about you?
I don't know, like, because I do Lucius Malfoy as well. And it's surprising. Some people will think that he's Severus Snape. And I'm like thinking, okay, so I got blonde hair, but Severus black. And a couple of times I'll get that. But I haven't really had anybody not so surprised, because I think I cosplay a lot of more recognizable ones than anything. But the Lucius one is probably the one that I've had people confused on, and I don't understand how, but it happens. Some people don't know the entire story, or they just get a name stuck in their head and it pops out.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My most impossible, can't believe anybody recognized it costume was because it wasn't even a real costume. At Indiana Comic-Con one year, Kelly was there for this. Something happened the night before to where that day I was like, I can barely even go to the con, let alone be dressed up in something super hot. So I pulled through some stuff from my bag. I had borrowed and forgotten to return a headband from my friend Ruby that had a little pearl hanging from it right here and like 2 small chains hanging from it. And I was like, okay, well, I've got this like flowy, really light tan shirt. I'll wear that and my regular shorts and shoes and just tell myself, I pulled my hair back in a really tight ponytail and said, I'll just tell myself I'm the childlike empress from Neverending Story to make myself. Okay, see, you would have been someone else too. But this is a large convention too. So I walked past so many people, and we were in one of the main aisles in between like the celebrities and the like dealers hall, just this throng of people, and somebody stops me like without touching me. They just put their hand out a little bit. They were like, are you Moonbeam, like the queen from Neverending Story right now? And I was like, how did you get that? I have a headband and a tan tunic. Like, yes, I am. It was amazing.
That's all it takes. And for everyone that does stop you or comments that you overhear, there's probably more people that do recognize it and just don't say anything. Or not sure or something.
Probably. It's just that one where it's like, because I wasn't even at home, so it's not like I could pull out a closet cosplay. I like literally just happened to have the piece that made it recognizable because I forgot to return it the night before.
Funny.
It's
So, also Hollis Thompson says it's like the Revenge of the Sith VHS all over again. Can't have them all. Talking about how we're collectors.
Literally. We're a little overdue for our cosplay catwalk, and I cannot really do it because I'm in a cramped little space. Also, I'm just wearing pajama pants, y'all. I have no shame. They are at least Wonder Woman pajama pants. So let me see if I can stand up and show you my adorable Wonder Woman pajama pants. I'm too sexy for my PJ pants. I'm too sexy for my PJ pants. So sexy, it hurts. All right.
Did I borrow those like 2 visits ago?
I'm pretty sure you did. Yeah, I'm almost positive you did. Okay, so Crayle, do you want to go next? And we'll save the best. We'll save the guest for last. I was gonna say save the best for last, not that I'm slamming you, but you know what? The guests are always the best.
Well, I mean, they are especially the best right now because I didn't have time to accessorize because I had that whole partially pulled my shoulder out of this pocket episode. So I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my cosplay. Appreciate it because I injured myself.
Well, you look gorgeous. I'm excited. This is the first time you're donning Dark Supergirl.
Yeah. No gloves, no boots. That's okay. It's a pretty simple costume once you get all these pieces on it anyway. So
we need to do Supergirl versus Dark Supergirl. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely. The problem is, how are we going to Photoshop me across from me? My
skills me as regular Supergirl.
I was just making a joke about how I'm Supergirl.
I've got
Jen's too sexy for Black Widow. She's too sexy for her cosplay. So sexy it hurts.
One thing about this is there's the lipstick I was looking for. And does this one have? No, because I ate it, but I can also put a granola bar in there.
Yes. Pockets. Pockets are the best.
Yeah, there's no pockets. And when we do charity events, I don't use firearms at all. I don't, because we're interacting with kids. We're often in you know, public areas. And I just prefer to use the batons. And also it's great when I can be like, hey, do you want to hold a baton? You got to be careful with this. Not you, Loki.
Those batons are awesome, by the way.
Yeah, these are just Ruby's batons. They're,
nice.
You know, they've got an on-off.
Carlin Stewart says, shake it, Loki. Make Asgard shake. Shake it with your mama. Shake,
okay.
shake.
There's my little friend.
Oh, Loki. Loki's too sexy for the Loki Gator. Too sexy for the Loki Gator. So sexy. Jen, I hope you warned Jim about the cosplay catwalk shenanigans. Yeah. Okay, good, because I forgot to.
Thank you for your cooperation.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for shaking what Asgard gave you. It wasn't Asgard that gave it to you, but you know.
They got it from somewhere, right?
Asgard raised it.
Yes. Exactly. So we also, the only viewer submissions we have are from our friend Charlie. And I did not have time to collage them, but this is some of Charlie's looks. Oh, and now we're on to Jim's look. So here, let me move you so you're not blocked by the pictures. If you want to just talk a little bit about each picture.
Sure.
Loki.
Yeah, this I went to a festival, holiday festival thing, and we just went in Chicago and just took some pictures. And I got this new fancy scepter, and I was like, I need to take pictures with this. It lights up, and it's really loud, so I'm not going to turn it on, but it's really awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, I love it. I also do Peter Pan, and if you look inside my hand, another Tinkerbell is in there. So that's Carol. She is in the Michigan section, so she's in the League of Enchantment as well. That's relatively a new suit that I have. I have yet to be able to cosplay it for any events.
You got one coming up, though, right?
But we do have one coming up soon. We're doing a Disney karaoke night for a charity event, and I'm gonna wear that.
Oh, fun. Okay, but how did you shrink Carol? That's my question.
That's how big she is in real life.
She's really tiny. Yeah, she's really that small.
That checks out.
Yeah, cool. This was it was at an event at where were we? We're at a theater, and this was one of my first memories, like a little core memory. That little boy there apparently doesn't talk very much, and he just sat there and stared at me for like what felt like forever, and I just was talking to him, asking him questions, and then after a good couple of minutes, he went back to his mom and he said something to her, and she came up to me with tears in her eyes, saying that I got him to say something. So it was like one of those moments that I was like, wow, it was, yeah. And then he just kept poking me in the eye. That was another thing he kept doing. Yeah. This one, I have a video of this little boy dressed as Captain America. Apparently, the parents hunted me out because they said that they heard Captain America was in the building. And at cons, there's usually quite a few of them, but they specifically, I guess, were looking for me. So this boy comes up and we fist bump, we talked, and then he just started like jumping in excitement.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was just, there's a video of him just jumping around. It was so cute. There's my Lucius Malfoy. And I actually was honored to have a cape holder to throw my robe up in the air for me so I can get a really sweet picture. But we went to a college in Chicago, and it's beautiful. It looks like Hogwarts down there. There's Cap. There's a place called Cantini Park, and they have retired tanks. And went out there. It was freezing that day, so just had to get some snapshots because I just had my cap suit fitted because it was a little baggy, and I wanted to get some good pictures with that for some stuff. Yeah, I love that picture.
I want to pop in real quick to let you know that Carlin says your Malfoy is great. That's Carlin Stewart.
Thank you, Carlin. This one's a recent one. We did a Toys for Tots in Glen Ellen, and it was a huge turnout with not only like people bringing toys, but as you can see, a huge turnout of the cosplayers that came in from League of Enchantment.
We had so many people there. We had a bunch of kids come in. Ant-Man and the Wasp were a real hit at that one too, which
they had a line.
They had a line.
They had a line.
It was really, really cool to see that. That was really fun. This was another library event that we did. This was in Aurora.
Yeah. This is the one, the Ariel and the little girl sat and read in the book.
And our Ursula there, Sam, she's a blast. She's a trip. She's got a cauldron in front of her, and she has kids reach in and pull out a little prize. And she's just like, it won't be much. It's just your voice. You would trade your voice for a prize. I can't do the same voice that she does, but she is fantastic.
She's phenomenal.
And it's just really great to have everyone in here. We have a good mix of princesses and heroes. This was me as Spider-Gwen. And this kid was just on the other side of the glass. It seems to be a thing that we do, is have spider folks and kids on the other side of glass. But this was fun.
I was so amazed at this picture. I turn around, I look, and this little kid's like patting the window, so I had to take the picture quick.
And there's both of us. This was at a Toys for Tots drive, and it just happened that a little Captain Marvel and a little Spider-Man came in, and that's who we were at that time. And I love seeing the kids. This was an event where we could actually interact with the kids at a gym while they did their Toys for Tots drive. So you see some of them running around in the back there, and some of our other members as well. This was really, really cool. That girl I got to hang out with for a bit. This was something that we did during lockdowns because we couldn't actually visit the hospitals. So what we did is we made big signs to hold out and show the signs to the kids in the windows. And some of them actually wrote back to us and showed that. So we have messages for them to let them know that we're thinking of them still.
That's the same one. Yeah. Sorry.
And this was one of our hospital events that we did. So this was me as Rapunzel and some of our other members here. That shows kind of what our care packages are. Each care package has like one big toy and then some other smaller activities and some other toys for them to do while they're in the hospital. Yeah, stuff to let them just know that we're thinking about them.
Love it.
And this was Jim's first event.
This was my first event. So yeah. And it was really fun. I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect, what to do. And I'm not gonna lie, Jen was like really great and supportive. And Thor right there, he's actually our president of the Chicago division. And he helped, he's the one that got me into this. And Jen walked me through, showed me what I was supposed to do, really coached me. And from there on out, this was such a great event. And it was nice and warm because Spider-Man can be, it's usually cold out.
That's why I recruit for Captain Marvel on that day. Yeah. I was counting how many times I got called Wonder Woman.
Oh, Spider-Man is such a cold suit.
Yeah.
Our third board member did just let us know that we are up to 36% of our goal now. So
all right, let's keep it going.
Let's keep going.
Yep, and the people who donated, I'm just looking, I have the donation page open, are Andrea and Chris saying they're here supporting the fundraiser, and Jen and Jim with League of Enchantment.
They're members of ours. Yeah. Thank you, Andrea and Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea and Chris. That's so sweet. I love that. I really do. So, oh my gosh, I can't believe we only have 10 minutes left. Where did the time go?
Let me fix that for you. I'm going to talk to the
TVA.
I know a couple people.
So what we usually do at the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, is we ask our guests to give some advice to new cosplayers. So I'm going to give you two the stage, and if you two just want to give some advice to new cosplayers and also give some advice to people who might be looking to get into charity work. And so just one sec. There you go.
Whoa, hi. My main advice for cosplayers is that it is about 70% attitude. You know, you don't have to have a perfect costume. You don't have to look exactly like the character. If you love a character and want to cosplay them, most of that is going to be you just having the confidence to bring it and to find the character within yourself. You know, find a character that you resonate with, that you love, that there's a reason that you connect with them, and tap into that when you've got the costume on. What about you? Advice for new cosplayers?
Don't be afraid to ask for support. Like if you need help with anything, a lot of cosplayers have been in the same situation. And one of the great things about this community is that everybody supports everybody. So the diversity and everything about it is so powerful that everybody's kind of like their own little hero. And in the charity world, it's just compassion. So it's knowing that you're going to be making somebody else happy is just enough. It's not about you, it's about that other person and helping them. And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. So many of us have different skill sets, different expertises, different experiences. And it's so wonderful to be able to reach out to someone and say, hey, you're good with foam, you're good with sewing. What can you do? How can you help me? Someone, you know, and then to be able to pay that forward also within the own community. If anyone is interested in volunteering and doing charity work, find an organization near you. If you are in Michigan or in the Chicago area, check out the League of Enchantment. We can always use more help and more members. And even if you are not a cosplayer and want to help out and volunteer, a lot of organizations, I know LOE does specifically, we are always looking for support members. We need people to not just hold capes, but to take the photos, to interact, kind of break the ice, to sit at our booth and talk about our organization. We will also be at C2E2 if anyone is going to be going to that. You can come check out our booth there. Check out local libraries that have story time. Sometimes they want to volunteer to come in character and do that. Check out, I don't know what other kind of organizations, but look on Facebook, look on social media, see if there's something near you. There's a lot of other groups out there that do hospital visits and libraries and any kind of charity that, you know, you're reaching out to the community to be a part of.
I can't say anything more than that.
Okay.
That is wonderful advice. Thank you both. So where can we find you?
So me personally, I'm Jen Watson Art on Instagram, and I've got a Facebook page, Jen Watson Art. Also, I'll post my cosplay there, as well as a lot of my illustration and my Etsy shop. I'm
Jim Kutchinski. On my Instagram, oh, it's weird. It's Jiminy Cricket, but Jim spelled like going to the gym, GYM, instead of the character. And definitely, if you reach out to me and you want some information, you can always go to the League of Enchantment website. If you just Google search League of Enchantment, you'll find it. And we're very active on our social sites, so Instagram, Facebook, and there's always somebody there that is going to respond to you. If it's one of the social sites, it might be me. So
it's Facebook is League of Enchantment Chicago. There's also League of Enchantment Michigan.
Yes.
And what is the Instagram site? It's LOE Chicago.
It's LOE Chicago. Yeah, it's
LOE Chicago on Instagram, and loechicago@gmail.com is our email address. If you have any questions, you can always email us. Whether that's an event, a membership question, I'll probably be answering the membership question, or one of our other membership team members. And we also take any general questions as well. If you have any questions about the organization, email us, find us on Facebook, check out our website, leagueofenchantment.org. There's sections for Michigan and for Chicago. Always happy to have new members, new interest, more people who want to help their communities and put more joy into the world, because that's why we're here. We need to put more joy into the world. We need more good things. And it just ripples out, you know? You never know who you're gonna reach. And that's okay.
All right. And Crayle, where can we find you?
So you can find my cosplay stuff along with Kelly's cosplay stuff at linktree.com/PhoenixSisCosplay. So Phoenix SIS cosplay, short for Phoenix Sisters. And then on top of that, if you're specifically looking for Pokeball dioramas and other Pokemon themed art, linktree.com/Pokeballs, no accents or anything, by Crayle, my name like it's spelled here, Pokeballs by Crayle. That's got the social media, the store, how to custom order, all kinds of stuff like that. And Kelly, do you want to tell us where we can find anything to do with you outside of our Phoenix Sisters Linktree?
Yes. So if you go to my website, www.kellyguentner.com, that's Guentner, you can find, there's not a whole lot outside of, like, you and I do everything together. Basically, you've even edited my book. So yeah, that's basically where you can find my books, which Crayle edited my most recent book. You can find my podcast stuff, my cosplay stuff, all my creative stuff is on my website. And you can also find a link to the Multiverse fundraiser website through my website, through our Linktree. Everything links back together. It's all one connected multiverse.
Right. You can even get to my website from Kelly's website because I built them both and I did it that way on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're a package deal, baby. So on that note, let me refresh because this is the last panel of the night, but the donation link is still open. We're sitting pretty at 36%, $730. Thank you to everyone who's donated so far. Thank you to all the panelists and all the hosts who have given their time. So this event is great. We have some great things in store for tomorrow. We're going to start fresh tomorrow with our B-List Boosters panel, which is going to be a few comic nerds. And I mean that in the best way, talking about their favorite lesser-known comic characters that need more love. So I'm going to play this one last time so you know a little more details about how to donate. And then otherwise, have a great night, everyone. Keep donating. Keep watching tomorrow, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Our charity partner for this year's Multiverse fundraiser is the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health. They exist to spread awareness of aortic health and prevent unnecessary suffering through genetic research, widespread education, and radical advocacy. Simply click on the link at our website, www.theMultiversefundraiser.com, that says donate here, and that will take you to our Just Giving link. All donations go directly to the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health. As a bonus, every $10 donation that you give enters you into our sweepstakes to win fantastic prizes. All information can be found at our website under giveaway. So thank you for watching and thank you for supporting.
Oh, we're still on?
Sorry.